but it's like to be a slave.
So we've gotten together, we're working on a project. It's a tribute to Nina Simone, and it's going to be probably one of the most exciting projects, themed projects you've ever heard from me. Creatively, there's something about Nina Simone's catalog, something about her writing, something about the artistry around Nina Simone that captivates our inner spirit. We relate to Nina in a way that is pretty uncanny. It's like a soul relationship and attachment to her writing and her music. So let me just hear the stuff we've just done back. I want to hear what it sounds like on the beat. Yebo.
Getting into the session, when it was just between me and Zubz, me recording and Zubz in the booth, I got to just zone out a little bit into the music and just listen to the lyrical content of the songs, especially on a track called Slave. It really got touched an emotional side of me, and I was like just sitting there in front of the computer and I was like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be about. Just the affiliation between Nina Simone's content and Zubz's content in the songs, and that was for me a defining point in the session.
I bet you never thought that you would see it. Well, here it is, touch it, feel it, taste it and breathe it. For too long, far too many have tried to conceal it. Knowing what you perceive is the basis for your beliefs. It's a narrative that's embarrassing to those who fear it, those who fear it. Those of us who... Truth is the acronym that we live in. The righteous understanding given of things hidden. It's a law to the letter. Know it and it sets you on a path of endeavor, more elevated than heaven. Power don't make you better. Money don't make you better. Your heart don't make you better. Skin color and your body parts won't make you better.
I reconnected with the guy that was pioneering and championing my second album, Headphone Music in the Parallel Wall. His name is Mizi. A lot of people know him in his various capacities, but I know him as a personal friend and a dope producer. He's gotten together with another dope producer friend of mine from Pretoria called Nyambz. The hip-hop world in South Africa, especially Gauteng, know Nyambz like they know hip-hop.
Yeah, like when you mentioned that you'd be on the project, like for years, like you're the artist that we always spoke about. That's in terms of putting together an album and like executing like a theme or a concept or whatever. You've always been the premier artist at that, even in terms of albums. Like a lot of guys do albums, but like, you know, it just ends up being like a collection of songs, and if they get the right collection or the right blend, then, you know, great. But for the most part, like every time you've started on a project and you've said, I want to do this project and it wants to sound like ABC, upon completion it sounded like ABC.
My name is Mizi. I've been producing for the past probably 15 years. I'm just happy that Nyambz, Zubz and I are back together working on an album. I mean, it's been 8 years since we last worked on an album. That was Headphone Music. And to have this opportunity to, you know, once again come together and put down an album, it's an honor for me, just like it was 8 years ago, to work with somebody like Zubz and to work with Nyambz. I think all of us have grown. I mean, Zubz has always been a monster in the booth. Now he's even worse. You know, on the beats, we've applied ourselves much more than we did before. Especially conceptually, you know.
Like he calls me up and he says, yo dude, who do you really like in terms of like soul singers and stuff, you know? And I was just rattling off names. And he's like, what do you think of Nina Simone? And I was like, oh no, she's dope. I mean, you know, she's depressed though. I mean, she make music for depressed dudes, slitting their wrists. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking of doing this album, Nina Simone thing. And I was like, yo, let's do it. And then when he sent the music that you guys worked on, I was like, wow.
Nyambz had called me up and he said he wanted to bring this project to the studio because of the special space. And I think Zubz's Nina Simone tribute was the perfect fit. Yeah, I engineered the project, I recorded the sessions.
I like that a
lot. Why bother trying to give them what they want when you can give them what they need? Instead of trying to get them on their feet, I'd much rather get them to believe. Why bother trying to give them what they want when you can give them what they need? Instead of trying to get them on their feet, I'd much rather get them to believe.
I was actually hoping you'd say Nina Simone first because I wanted to know if
I was the right guy for the project.
I knew you were the right guy for the project, but I was just hoping that you were in exactly the same sort of groove.
I drop a Guardiola kick bar, son. The rhythm switch flow, son. Part of the curriculum. I take them to school like books in the book. Or teach them cuts, true right hooks. Then a choke hold. Zubz make them see through that silly facade like fake weaves off a million broads. Shit is local.
Can I tell you the first thing when you gave me that music, I was like, yo, I need to get up on Nina Simone's music. Because I think I knew like maybe 3 or 4 songs, like the typical, you know? And then I was like, yo, I'm going in. And then I went in on Nina's music, like the ones that, you know, both of you guys sampled. I went in on them, I went to the original joints, listened to them, even listened to some of the whole albums they were on. And I was like, yo, man, I got a real sense of the kind of artist she was. And I was like, wow, this is a project for me personally. Nina Simone spoke about things like being all you can be, slavery and oppression. She talked about expanding your horizons as a human being. And these are themes that I have covered in my entire career. I've also spoken about these things, you know. And Nina Simone goes in when she talks about a new day, for example. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. That's like when you look up at the sky and you see birds flying high, you know how that feels. But the birds, she's talking to them and saying, birds, you know how I feel. So it's a multi-layered way of writing that Nina has.
Because I'd found tracks, and then Nyambz sent me a track that I've never heard before. I've never even heard Nina do a track like that. This Dust in the Brain. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, this is a banger joint.
Praise Jesus for the visa, my approved application for freedom. I'm going overseas in my pursuit of dreams. Got a ticket and a bag filled with 55 reasons.
Okay, great. Now we can take it all the way back to verse 1, right at the beginning of the first, after the first chorus.
I used to be so jealous of all my friends and my relatives. Got their wings early, flew the coop way ahead of us. In my head, of course, they all were heroes, stacking up the pounds, mad dollars and euros.
Yeah, just to run through.
I used to be so jealous of all my friends and my relatives. Got their wings early, flew the coop way ahead of us. And in my head, of course, they all were heroes, stacking up the pounds, mad dollars and euros. I used to picture them rocking designer gear, the real deal, not those knockoffs from China here. Drinking the kind of beer and liquor we see on screen, with perfect human beings, white teeth and flawless skin.
And I think we're done for today, dude. That's like...
Yeah.
Praise Jesus for this visa, my approved application for freedom. I'm going overseas in my pursuit of dreams. Got a ticket and a bag filled with 55 reasons. Wind under my wings, harvest season. Praise Jesus for this visa, my approved application for freedom. I'm going overseas in my pursuit of dreams. Got a ticket and a bag filled with 55 reasons. Wind under my wings, harvest season. I used to be so jealous of